Luigi Mangione. There's some rumors floating around on the internet. There's a couple manifestos. There's some different things that they said. Why did this guy come out of basically um, the shadows and fire several shots at this CEO, and then he ended up dying in the hospital? Ironically, whenever this first came out, somebody in the comment section of the initial reports on Facebook said, I wonder if they took him to an out-of-network facility so he could see what it's like to have coverage denied. He died in a hospital from the inflicted wounds by the gunshot. I understand why people say that. Now, I've had no bad luck with United Healthcare coverage so far, but I also have a platinum plan. And I'm in a group network, in a business group network, which typically you get better coverages and stuff like that. I don't know what this man was going through. I don't know what was in his mind. All I know is that he had a personal vendetta against United Health. One of the manifestos, it's very long. I'm going to try to read it to you, but it's very long. And then there's another one that's very short and to the point that seems like it's more realistic. Let's read the one that's more realistic right now. The article is by a gentleman, Ken Klippenstein. He said, this is the real manifesto, not the fake one that's floating around all over the internet. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the U.S., the number one most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. United is the indecipherable largest company in the U.S. by market capita, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as life expectancy, no. The reality is these indecipherable have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American people has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed, e.g. Rosenthal Moore, decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. So that was what some are thinking is the actual real manifesto. And then there's another one that seems like there's some more information and explaining things, but nobody knows if this is exactly the manifesto that he came up with. I don't really know. Let's look at the one that's suspected to be fake. So this is the one where people are thinking it's fake. The document states, she said in 10 years before that with burning sensation in her feet and occasional sharp stabbing pains. At first, the pain would last a few moments, then fade to tingling and nothing a few days later. The first time the pain came, she ignored it. Then it came a couple times a year, and she ignored it. Then every couple months, then every couple times a month, then a couple times a week. At that point, by the time the tingling faded to numbness, the pain would start and the discomfort was constant. At that point, even going from the couch to the kitchen to make her own lunch became a major endeavor. Mangione was arrested at Pennsylvania McDonald's Monday when customer members of the staff recognized him as the subject of the manhunt that began when Thompson was gunned down in Midtown Manhattan. Bullets with the words delay, deny, and depose were found at the scene, an apparent reference to insurance companies' tactics to avoid paying out claimants and close the title of Jay Fenman's 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend, about insurance companies' attempts to resist payouts. Reading the document purported that Mangione's justification for the killing of Matthias shared the University of Pennsylvania graduate's account of his mother's journey through the medical system. At first, medics dismissed her problem as psychosomatic, telling her that she needed to relax, de-stress, sleep more. Mangione allegedly wrote. A second doctor said to have told her she had a compressed nerve in her spine that needed back surgery, which would cost $180,000 with a recovery of 6 months minimum before walking again and 12 months to full potential recovery. Eventually, a third doctor performed a nerve conduction study, electromyography, MRI, blood tests, which cost between $800 to $1,200. Mangione stated that his mother hit her $6,000 deductible of her United Healthcare plan in October. Then the doctor went on vacation, and my mother wasn't able to resume tests until January, when her deductible reset. The test showed severe neuropathy. $180,000 surgery would have no effect, the document read. A series of medical interventions followed with little benefit, as according to this alleged manifesto, Mangione watched his mother's health decline as she battled pain so severe he would hear her shrieking in the night. According to the document, Mangione wrote, "Back then, I thought there was nothing I could do. The high co-pays make consistent treatment impossible. New treatments were denied as not necessary medically. The old treatments didn't work and still put us out for thousands of dollars. United Healthcare limited specialist consultations to twice a year. Then they refused to cover the advanced imaging, which the specialist required for an appointment. Prior authorization took weeks and months. United Healthcare constantly changed their claim filing procedure. They said that my mother's doctor needed to fax his notes. Then United Healthcare said they did not save faxed patients' correspondence and required a hard copy of the doctor's typed notes to be mailed. Then they said they never received the notes. They were unable to approve the claim until they had received and filed notes. They promised coverage and broke their word to my mother. With every delay, my anger surged, and with every denial, I wanted to throw the doctor through the glass wall of their hospital waiting room, but it wasn't them. It wasn't the doctors, the recipients, the administrators, the pharmacists, imaging techs, or anyone we ever met. What it was United Healthcare."